system in the field condition IA, and we can work on that as well. Okay? So any question on potential production, you can stop me and you can ask me anytime, or we can have at the end as well. So the animation is not working somehow. Climate change and climate variability, these are two aspects. Do you have clarity on that or not? What is climate change and what is climate variability? So which one is more damaging for agriculture? Climate change. Why? Or climate variability? Why? Short-term change. Okay, let me give an example. I'm a farmer. I have seen in the farm that this summer season there is a drought for 15 to 20 days, but exactly next year we have flood for 15 days. Is this climate change or climate variability? Hmm? Okay. So let me give another example. Your friend from Srinagar told you that in Srinagar nowadays we have very limited snowfall. Is this climate change or variability? Okay. So that's good. I got to know that your understanding is the level of understanding. Now I can explain in a better way. So climate change is change in mean scale of weather parameter. When I say mean scale means last 30 years climatological mean. So whenever from normals, whenever there is a deviation from the normal, this is called climate change. But the year-to-year variation is called climatic variability. So for crops or farming decisions, variability is more problematic than the climate change. Why? That is why in a nationwide project called NICRA, because agriculture has a resilience capacity. They try to get resilient in terms of changes. How? Some biochemical, some physiological changes, and some stress tolerance as well. That's why varieties have been developed to get resilient, right? So the climate variability management is more challenging than climate change management. When I say climate change management, there's two concepts which I will talk about: adaptation and mitigation. And why these two are different and how these are different, we'll talk on that. So if you see the extreme events across the different years, some year have drought, some year have floods, some year heat waves, cold waves, high Rabi temperature common in India. Now, the question is that when a variety developed by breeders, they look for next 20, 30 years, then they develop variety. So how do they can assess the response of variety? Some kind of climate manipulation experiment, changing temperature mean, changing CO2 mean, changing rainfall mean, plus or minus. That's what they can do. So how many of you know about the climate manipulation experiments? Growth chamber, open top chamber, rain out shelters. There are different set of parameters in weather. Based on those parameters, they have different set of experiments. Growth chamber is a control condition in growth chamber. There is a greenhouse studies, there is a rain out shelters. So they try to address variability as well as long-term change. So let's say if I want to do study on 30-year +2 temperature rise, for example. So what I will do, I will test my variety in +2 condition, right? But if I'm a breeder, if I have 300 lines, I don't have multiple locations, resources, enough funding from agencies. What I'll do? I'll use crop models, because crop models will offer you those platforms to change weather parameters, change location, and that's how we'll talk today. Okay? So the climate variability address is a major challenge rather than climate change. About climate change, we have a long-term policy to address those changes, but for climate variability, it's difficult to manage those variability in a season. This is a popular poster developed by IRI Climate Change Department, and Dr. Himanshu Pathak was behind that. That time I was a student in that project. So everybody knows the climate change has mutual relationship. They contribute also and they get impacted also, right? And for that impacts, you see the adaptation, mitigation, and vulnerability. Let me give an example. We have 5 students, let's say. I told them, let's go outside in a rainy season. I will not give an umbrella. After 1 hour, when you come back from field data collection, 2 of them have cold, sneezing. 2 of them are completely fine, and 1 is completely sick, fever and then collapsing. Means they have different tolerance level. They have adapted. Second scenario, if I give them umbrella, they will try to adapt, and what they will minimize? The vulnerability. They will try to minimize vulnerability because they have umbrella, right? But what if I tell them, I talk to IMD and they are doing some technology to stop the rain? That is mitigation. We are stopping the cause. So adaptation means adapting for certain short period or medium term period to continue our physiology or without affecting our yield and component for crops. That is called adaptation. So what we do a lot of field condition for management strategy for adaptation. Right? Mitigation is for reducing the cause, reducing greenhouse gas emission. Vulnerability is how much you are exposed. Okay, in the field condition, vulnerability is equal of how much you are exposed and how much you are sensitive. My 5 students went to field data collection. All 5 were exposed. 2 of them were normal sensitive. 1 was acute sensitive, 1 was not sensitive. Multiplication of exposure time for 5 year data, 5 month or 5 day, whatever, 5 minutes time period exposure, sensitivity is own tolerance scale. Multiplying effect is called impact. They got cold, 1 got severe illness. And if someone has rainy coat or umbrella, that is called adaptive capacity. And overall parameter is called vulnerability, how much ultimately the impact will be. So for any variety developer or any breeders or physiologists, when they work on climate resilience, they consider these factors overall. And that's how in the crop models, we can change each thing one by one. How we can change? We can change through representation of any varieties, through genetic coefficients and changing parameter. Now, in the field condition, how we manage climate risk management? The risk identification is first step, then risk reduction, and then transferring the risk. In the Indian condition, we mostly focus on first two. First two, we identify the risk through IMD, through other agencies, through historical impact, changing trends, vulnerability assessment, risk factor, quantifying, risk reduction, sectoral planning, early warning system, IRI, Agriculture Physics Department, Mahalanobis Crop Forecast Center, they mostly work on risk reduction. Risk transfer is nowadays a new domain where we need to focus on. For an example, you have heard about the company called Crop-In Technology in Bangalore. This is the, I think, highest earning startup in agriculture sector. What they do, they identify parameter of yield in different fields and correlate with the climate parameters and then design insurance premium or connect with insurance companies, transferring insurance risk through insurance. For example, IRI, Agriculture Physics Department, Dr. Vinay Sehgal, Agriculture Physics Meteorology expert, he works with company to transfer heat wave in Hyderabad to the poultry growers so that they get premium through insurance. So how you transfer risk if you have enough robust knowledge of climate and crop model and integrating climate and crop model both. So that's how we learn today about the climate risk management, how we transfer the risk. For example, many of your friends are bank agriculture officer through IBPS exam. They are field agriculture officer or bank agriculture officer. They supply loan, they provide loan to the farmers. How do they provide loan to the farmers? Based on farm credit score. And that's how they are connected sometime to insurance management for extreme conditions, how they handle drought and flood. So the Canara Bank was the first bank who started this mechanism. ICICI is the first private bank. Okay. There is some changes in uh, font. Why models? In the agronomy, if you talk about, we have experimental design, different NPK level, different irrigation level, different stress level, lot of traditional agronomic trial and error, right? For that, you need a lot of field, lot of money, resources, time, right? And we need to have system approach to address those, barriers. How we can do that? Crop models provide to understand those situations, to predict and to control and manage using crop models. We'll try to understand how. And then options for adaptive management and risk reduction. That is a basic use of crop model. I think there is some transition. So for any agriculture students or agronomy people, if you ask crop model, oh no, this is mathematics. This is difficult, I will not use that. This is a lot of meteorological equations, engineering students or faculty can do that. But for a crop modeling studies, you need to understand basics physiology of the crop, basics of soil science, basics of meteorology. Integrating these three, you can use crop model. So using is different thing, developing is different thing. Developers should have knowledge of programming, coding, right? So with this figure, I just wanted to explain that for any crop model, we need to understand the logic sequence of crop growth and development into code or 0101, right? That's how we can quantify equation of crop growth and development into the crop model. So you see, this is a basic cartoon where there is connected through wire. So each crop will behave. We can understand crop behavior process through wire connection, but that is not a case. How this wire can be represented or crop can be represented into the computer through some kind of coefficients. For plant behavior, it's called variety or genetic coefficients. And that's how, as a modeler, you need to first calibrate variety genetic coefficients. That's what I talk in my first half, to calibrate genetic coefficients. For that, you need basic understanding of soil physics, basically meteorology and agronomy, and a little bit of understanding of physiology as well. For simulation modeling, there are multiple type of simulation models, crop models. One is popular is crop model for crop physiologists, but there are economic modeling, there are engineering modeling. So you see, social scientists, 2 engineers, everyone can use, but depending on their requirement, we call it as a stakeholders requirement. So let's say if agronomist is a stakeholder, they will use for management scenario. If agriculture engineer, they will use for designing or calibrating the crop models or downscaling climate data. For livestock, there is a livestock model. Basically in agronomy, what we do, we try to simulate the planting, flowering and maturity. These are 3 phenology we try to simulate to match the crop growth and development, and then we provide information to stakeholders. There are a lot of models in econometric. If you heard about Monte Carlo model, econometric modeling. So those who are working on NAHEP you work on NAHEP economics modeling. So for econometric modeling, there are a lot of analysis of project. Will it be feasible or was successful or not? So there is econometric analysis as well. So different scale of modelings are there already in the domain. For crop models, you need to know all these processes, right? How soil process, how atmospheric process, and everything is physiology. There is a rate of reaction, there is a type of reaction. You need to understand everything, right? No, big no. You don't need to understand everything unless you are a developer. Those who develop module. So my entire PhD in one part. Means if you are developing a stress module, like I developed water stress module in my InfoCrop, that time I was doing my master's and then I developed PhD. More than 5,000 modelers in the world are working on different components, right? For a model user, if you apply model in your research area, you don't need to understand all those processes. But once you will read through the model, you should know about the process overall, not through equations. So that's how, if you see, there's a hidden one, the DVIT. DVIT is scientists who developed first time the flow chart of crop modeling, how we can connect soil module to the weather module to the crop module. If these three are connected somehow, we can model any crop growth and development. How we can connect daily weather data, daily soil behavior, and daily crop growth and development. Model will connect daily step-by-step process. It means it can simulate the crop growth and development. That is why crop model is called process-based model. Because every day there is a biomass accumulation somehow by accumulating heat, which is called growing degree days. So that's how in the crop model, we'll try to understand the basic conditions you need to know. One is the soil condition you need to know. Then you need to know the weather data that feed into the model to develop the crop management and genetics interaction to simulate crop growth, development and yield. This is the basic framework for any model users. Now, how we will get data for soil for entire globe or where we don't know the logistics coordinates, right? There is a website, I will talk about that, where you can get soil data globally. Similarly, for weather data, you don't have weather station. How will get data for Honduras, Haiti, Senegal, Guatemala? A lot of countries we have to do modeling work, right? So there is a website called NASA Power. I will talk about that as well, where to get the weather data. And then where to get the crop management data. Crop management data, basically we get from agronomist. When to plant, row distance, amount of fertilizer, amount of irrigation, those are crop management data. If you do not have those data, usually variety release the basic framework of basic management. You can get from there. If you cannot get from there, there are agencies who can supply the data like FAO sometime state NARS system, agriculture system. If you don't have those data, then you need to set up experiment on basic crop management data. Genetics, all three you can get. But the breeder will not give you genetic coefficients because they don't know genetic coefficient what is suited for crop model. They can only grow, they can only provide you information on planting date, flowering date and maturity date. Using those three, you can develop genetic coefficients. Then crop model will run. And then you can simulate, means run the crop model to simulate crop growth and development. This is a basic flow chart. If you are economist, you can work on net income. If you are working on pollution aspect, you can work on that. Resource management, depending on user, specific what you want to use. These are some major crop modeling efforts by different countries. Australia developed EPSRU and EPSIM, France stakes, sucrose, lintel. If you see India or not, Infocrop India. So I was part of NICRA team in Infocrop. So country-wise, there is a lot of models. But as agronomist or as an engineer, as a budding scientist, you can ask why there are so much models. Why not one model? Right? The model developers, they have their own set of model structures. They design models, they publish. But recently in 2012, NASA felt that there should be a global group which can work on ensembling the models. All model can be on one platform. And that's how they started a group called AGMIP, AGMIP, Agricultural Model Intercomparison Project, AGMIP. In India also multiple institutes are part of that. AGMIP, what they do, they combine all models to get ensembles of model because some model has some positive things, some model has some negative things, pros and cons. So ensembling of modeling group, what they do climate change impact assessment at large spatio-temporal scale, state-wise, country-wise, continent-wise. Then they need to check all models' behavior, and that's how they announce that yield forecast will be this one, impact of climate temperature change on certain crops on that level. They announce that. Complex. Global model world. These are the different country-wise name of the scientists who developed that model. If you switch off the light, then you can see clearly. So point here is that there were connection of modules in the model. DSAT, developed from ORIZA model. InfoCrop developed from Oriza model, like FCM developed from Stix model. So that's how they are connected. Different crop, different module. So in layman language we can say, एक modeler ने दूसरे modeler से चुरा लिया कुछ. Means they adopted the basic module of a model where there is some good thing about that module. They exported or adopted that module into different models. So no need to go into deep, but you need to try to understand that the major boxes, these are 4 popular models. The DSAT, Decision Support System of Agro-Technology Transfer, multiple people are using. AppSim, developed by Australia. I cannot see. Nicod, Open, Elia, there are different group of models which is used by. Recently, InfoCrop is also part of AgMIP. I'll share the slide so that you can see later. Oh, this video is not playing, okay. Now, as a user, that was the developing part. As a user, you need to know that whatever the model I'm using, it is credible or valid or not. So for model credibility, you need data to validate the model or check the model if it is working or not. So what are the data you need? You need weather and soil data. You need crop management data. You need a specific cultivar information. And then you need the final observation to compare. These are the basic information data set. In model field, we call it as a MDS, minimum data sets. Okay? Now there are a couple of applications of models. Diagnose problems, yield gap. In the first slide, I talked about yield gap. Potential yield minus actual yield is called yield gap. So as a breeder or as a agronomist, our goal is to improve or enhance yield. So means minimizing the yield gap. Then how we'll do? Model helps in diagnosing the problem. So that is the first use. In the precision agriculture field, diagnosing the factors like water stress or nitrogen stress, what stress is impacting the yield. And then the variable spatially as well. There is a PyDSAT where we can do spatial work. Spatial means for different locations rather than doing one point. Input management of irrigation and fertilizer, breeding work where they have virtual crop models. So if let's say I am a basmati breeder, basmati rice breeder, I am developing basmati rice and I will do trials at different locations, right? How many locations I can do that? So they prefer virtual crop model to fit into crop model to test in different locations, or test in different weather conditions, different year. So that is one. Gene-based model, very recently, 2010, it started when breeders wanted to express the G into E into M interaction in the models. So that's how there is a gene-based modeling also there where they can compare. Yield prediction is one area where they can work on crop management. And these are the generic area where we can work on that. Soil climate variability and risk management, I already spoke about that. Climate change impacts and adaptation, I talked about a little bit that. Soil carbon sequestration is a new area. There's a century model, daily scent model, where we can simulate the soil carbon. How much carbon is improving through a lot of cover crops or fallow crops or cropping management scenario. We can do that. Targeting aid, early warning system, like if you go to IRI, Agriculture Physics Department, they are using yield forecasting and targeting aid. Risk insurance, I already talked about, transferring risk to growers. So these are multiple uses of models. Now, practical condition. You can download model. You can use that model for a lot of research work, right? Now the goal is that when you talk to growers, they will always say, this is not useful for me, right? How models can be useful for any growers? Doesn't make any sense for farmer. Even doesn't make sense for extension agent or extension person who can just go to the farmers by running model and see how much impact is there. But it can be meaningful if they somehow link future climate forecast and the crop model so that they can forecast, okay, next 7 days is a drought from IMD announced already 15 days or 3 months. And they can put those values in the crop models to design scenario kind of information or decision support to the growers. Globally, if you see, this is a global pattern of epidemics and how related to climates. So if you see, the farmers suffer is the orange line. Mostly farmers suffer due to different, how many of you El Nino or La Nina effect? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. Okay, good number, 5, 6 number. So any weather parameters or change in weather conditions are closely linked with sea surface temperature and oceanic water movement. That's how there is a monsoon, there is a different pattern of wind pattern and sea surface pattern. So based on that, we forecast flood, drought, or other stress parameters, and how it is correlated with different impact on farm condition, crop epidemic, food rot, landslide, severe drought. That's how they link. Now, for a crop modeler, if we know future forecast, how we can generate on daily basis? Because crop model, I already explained, it works on daily basis. January 1, January 2, January 3. So how we can use that? We can use through, I already talked about that one. We can use through downscaling. Let's say IMD today announced that March, April, May, 3 months will be normally dry, 30% dry than last 30 years. Normally means last 30 years. 30% dry means there will be less rainfall, obviously. How farmers will get to know that? Because whenever IMD release, it release in probabilistic scale. And our models or any crop models use in data in daily scale. So that is called downscaling. Probabilistic scale to daily scale is called temporal downscaling, means time. Temporal means time, spatial means space. So temporal mismatch, because the climate forecast is always probability scale, daily weather sequence we need for crop models. How we can do that? So that's how we develop climate downscaling tool, which is called FRE sampler, which I spoke in the first session as well. There are a lot of climate predictions by different agencies. How we can use that? Using different downscaling through different scenarios of your field management strategy, whether you can work on 7 days or 15 days, how you will use the prediction. And that's how those predictions can be downscale on daily basis, and you can change the number of predictions, how many downscale you want to have. And then these are the 3 months pattern. MJJ means May, June, July. JJA means July, June, July, August. So 3 months pattern seasonal climate forecast comes, that is called 90 days forecast. If you work on S2S, seasonal to sub-seasonal, that is 15 days, especially by Columbia University Earth Institute, they developed S2S forecast. So I spoke that in the morning. There is a tool called FRE sampler, which does on a stochastic disaggregation, where we downscale precipitation and temperature daily basis. Daily basis means for crop model. And if you go to a database, which is called Harvard database for crop modeling, where you can download global weather data set for daily basis on year by year process. So that's how this software does. In the morning I told you about that, this software where you put the value of seasonal climate forecast month by month, below normal, above normal, and then model does everything in the background. What it does, it downscale weather data into daily basis and then feed into the crop model. So those who use crop model, they know we need to feed the weather data through Weatherman or other tools. So that automatically does the work, and then they develop the scenario on different, these are the different scenarios. So if you see the scenario for different years and different conditions, we can see the yield impact. If it is dry, if it is a wet, and that's how model helps in policy planning. So in linking climate and the crop model is not useful directly to growers, but for researcher and policy makers. They can design scenarios, they can develop, and then they can send message to, let's say, Parliament. You know about National NatCom, National Communication for Climate Change. So whenever a question comes from Parliament, it goes through IARI, ICR system, and then IRI and other institutes respond to that. So those kind of climate change impact, they run models, and then they say that this crop or this variety will respond in next 10 year, 20 year. We should not focus heavy resources of money on that area. So policy kind of research work is mostly on linking climate and crop model. Okay. So till that, any question on crop modeling before I move to my another component, which is admission to US universities and PhD and postdoc opportunities and how to prepare yourself. Next 1 hour I will talk on that. For crop modeling, I did not share you any specific example of models. I gave overall view. If you want to learn more, there are a lot of channels, YouTube, where you can learn for models. And if you want to learn more, we can talk later also. How to use DSAT, how to use InfoCrop, go to website, there's a PDF already built up. I just wanted to show you 2 database where you should know how to collect the weather data if internet permits me to open here. So those who work on weather data or any location weather data you want to need to work on weather data, click always on data access viewer of NASA Power. NASA Power is reanalyzed data sets for any user specific needs. So for any agroclimatic need, you need to get data. And where you will collect data? You will collect data from the NASA Power. On the left side, you see user community. What we are agroclimatology. Click that. You know the latitude, longitude, that's fine. If you don't know, you can just roam to your state. For example, you want to work on Nasik. So what you will do, click that and come back to that location. So you got your coordinates, right, lat long. And then if you want to work on, let's say 23, January 1, 2, whole entire year 2023. The month is the first format. So today is 24th or 26th. So you need this data, and then what you do, you just download into CSV format, Excel format. For any agriculture research work, what we need 4 data sets. One is solar. So what you will do all sky surface short wave, downward irradiance, what is coming. Okay. For temperature, what you need, Tmax and Tmin. So temperature at 2 meter, Tmax and Tmin. You need rainfall. That is called precipitation. Wind and soil data you don't need for modeling work. And then hit submit. You will get Nasik location what you chose as a weather data. Download that and work on that data. So this is just one example for weather data collection for entire global wherever you want to work. Similarly, there is a data set for soil data sets. So I'll just show you that website as well. Global High Resolution Soil Profile Database. So these are 2 sources. If you don't have soil data, if you don't have weather data, you can download from these 2 locations for any kind of study, basic study. Now the question is that how reliable these are, right? These are reanalyzed data on 0.25 into 0.25 grid. When I say grid, means you know grid, right? When there is satellite SWAT, there is a grid of that, which converts into kilometer to kilometer. So 0.25 degree into 0.25 degree, you can get reanalyzed data sets. All global analysis of yield forecast, climate change impact assessment. You heard about IPCC. You know IPCC, right? Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. They produce reports. So they do all those global analysis. Okay, इस साल अगर 0.8 डिग्री बढ़ जाएगा तो क्या impact होगा crops पे, water sector में, poverty क्या change होगा, nutrition क्या change होगा. So whatever the global analysis they do using this or NASA Power data. So with that, I will stop on the crop modeling. I will share the slides, so don't worry about that. Any question on crop modeling? I would like to address question rather than one way. Any question on crop modeling, then we'll move on another topic. कुछ भी गलत सही. How can we test the accuracy of the model? When we test accuracy of the model, there is two steps. One step is called calibration, another step is called validation. Calibration starts from three steps. One is variety calibration. So that is called genetic coefficient calibration. Once you calibrate genetic coefficient, you can simulate that behavior of crop growth and development. That is first step done, major work done. Then you need to calibrate soil parameter. So you need to have enough data on soil, which is your initial soil carbon, soil nitrogen, and water condition in the soil. That is called saturated hydraulic conductivity. If you know these three parameters, you can calibrate soil, right? So soil calibrated, your variety calibrated. Now the model itself calibration, structure. It's called a structural calibration. So what you need to do that time, you need to understand the ecotype, species, content, how they express the behavior into that. For that, you need to have field experiments, like what we were developing, temperature response curve, photo period response curve. So those are called model calibration. In that way, we develop a temperature response curve to represent exactly the same plant will behave in the model. So that is called a structural. For that, you need to have field experiments. You need to have climate control experiment in growth chamber, control condition, so that we can fit optimal temperature, super optimal, and supra-optimal. So there is a baseline always. When you read in basic physiology, crop growth and development, there is a base temperature, T base, and there is an optimum temperature range, let's say 24 to 29. There's a temperature for any crop variety. And then there is a decline when the crop is, so that similarly for photo response, for vernalization, for temperature response, other factor, we will do that. Then we calibrate the structure of the model. Apart from that, we need to know the coding, so to change the coding for, because randomly you cannot change. So those who are model developer, they understand coding, but they understand physiology also. So physiology understanding is very important to calibrate model structure, right? So the calibration is first step. Once you calibrated the model is behaving, you need to validate at different location with the comparing with observed data. So if you comparing observed data with a plus minus 5%, you can claim that, okay, model is behaving well, responding well. So they are evaluation parameter. You heard about R square, RMSE, model index, statistical analysis. So statistical evaluation should be there to compare models data, means simulated data, with the observed data. So that's how you can say my model is accurate or behaving well. It's called model evaluation. Good. You talk about field crops. Field crops, yes, yes. Yeah, very valid point. So she's asking about annual crops are in the crop model. Many scientists have developed. Are any crop model, do we have any crop model which can simulate perennial crops, horticulture crops? There are a lot of efforts people are doing on that. They came on first field perennial crops like switchgrass to simulate the behavior. Right now, there are couple of perennial crops, which is field crop like switchgrass or any other 2-3 more crops are there listed. Cotton is there. Cotton we can develop. Peas and pea, they are working on already developed models. But horticulture crops, problem is when we work on life cycle, when there is no fruiting at all, how much biomass accumulation is during that period, that is not accounted by any physiologist right now. So that is a major problem, how to translate physiological equations during non-flowering or non-fruiting conditions. But very valid question, many people have asked me, but I think people are working on that. Maybe in few years, there will be some fruit crops models. But there are fruit crop models based on regression, last year analysis, and then what will be the scenario. But the process-based fruit crop model or perennial crop model, perennial horticulture crops are not there yet. Vegetables, we have models. Infocrop already developed spinach model very recently. Yeah, vegetables have, leafy vegetables have, some root crops also have, tuber crops. Perennial horticulture crops have some problem in physiological analysis because of especially nighttime temperature response for perennial crops. Good. Any other thing? There was science. Now we will talk more on fun part. If you do not have any question. Fun part means how to get admission to US universities, how to apply for postdoc. And when I see faces, I see that is more important than crop model. Huh, go ahead. Good point. She's asking about uh, people are using these models for commercial scale or economic benefits or by any companies rather than doing research or extension or only publishing papers. Um, you have weightage in your question. Most of the scientists used for research purpose and extension purpose, very few company came up to use as a commercial scale. Like there are a couple of disaster management company, they work on that. Most popular is SRI International. SRI International is a disaster management company. They use crop models. There are a couple of more companies in New Delhi. I don't know the names. They use crop models. Now the question is that can it be used for long-term economic benefit or not? Yes, it has been. Farmers do not use process-based crop model for their benefit purposes. Why? Because these are deep physiological equation models where researchers can use and translate that meaningful action, what they can use. But the companies came up with some simple models, simplistic models. So models are process-based models and they are simplistic model based on equations. Company like Fasal, they use simplistic model. Cropping technology, they use AI-based models using imagery, satellite, NDVI, LAI, and they can transfer into yield. These are deep research models, very limited in case only in policy. Policy people, they use for long-term country scale policy planning. But for economic benefit, I cannot tell you, false promise that it can be used by growers. No, growers cannot use or growers should not use crop model for immediate benefit. But for growers, extension agent and scientists or extension people will use to transfer a meaningful filtered one-line message to the farmers. Okay, 10 days forecast I have, I ran the CMDT model and then I saw that after 10 days there will be impact on flowering. So with our knowledge and physiologist and agronomist, what I will do as extension, डॉक्टर साहब ये प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, क्या होना चाहिए? Then he or she will tell you कि irrigation नहीं करना है या करना है, fertilizer नहीं करना है. Then that message will go to the farmer. Farmer directly cannot use this model and should not use because they cannot run those models. Even if you make simple, just 1 or 2 values, they cannot use. As a researcher, our role is to make it simplify for extension because they are also non-technical people, right? Subject matter expert, SMS or gram sevaks, they can understand a little bit of science. So make a meaningful extract or abstract from your research and then transfer to them. That is called technology dissemination or transfer of technology. Great point. Any other question? Go ahead. Right. He's asking about the carbon emission measurements and for carbon credit, carbon trading, how we can account that. Two-way process. One is direct measurement, one is indirect measurement. Direct measurement is a lot of instruments. If you go to Google, there is a company called Lycor. Lycor have a lot of instruments where we can measure CO2, methane, and nitrous oxide emissions. One is that direct measurement. Indirect measurement, satellite. If you Google Sentinel, Sentinel is a satellite from European Space Agency. They have Tropomi. Tropomi is a sensor for satellite, Sentinel-5. Sentinel-5 tropome can estimate geospatial emission from a field. Let's say this is a 5-acre farm. How much emission is from conventional practice or organic practice? They compare with that. So there is an indirect estimation. The third one is a proxy. Proxy means soil carbon estimation and then translate into emission. So that I told you in soil carbon descent model, century model. Daily century is called descent model. So century model developed by Colorado State University, and there are a lot of EPIC model that can quantify soil carbon sequestration based or soil carbon storage based on certain cover crop or certain practices, and that translate indirectly into how much will be emission. Direct is instrument, indirect from satellite, and proxy from models. Good. Any other question? Climate change impact for food security and sustainability. Sustainability, I talked about the toolkit, SI toolkit, where we have 5 domains where you can assess the technology. And food security is a major component, which is nowadays everyone writes about that. There's a 4 component of food security. You should know about that. Anybody knows 4 pillar of food security? There is a food availability, but there is a concept called accessibility. How much food is available, that's fine. Currently in India, FCI has a stock of 4 to 5 years. It means food is available, right? There is another concept called food accessibility. How much food is accessible to pregnant women and child, those who are undernourished. That is called accessibility. Third component is food stability. In a year round, how much they get. In January, similar food, or in October, similar food. Year round availability, accessibility is called stability. So for food security, 3 important pillars. 4th I will talk later. Food availability, which we produce across the ICR system, SAU system, farmers network, we have food availability. That's why we are food secure. Food Security Act came. Food accessibility through PDS, public distribution system, we supply food. Recently you have heard in news that PM Kisan Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, something like that, they provide free food for 50 crore, 60 crore people. That is called accessibility. If accessibility is poor, then there is a malnutrition. They will not get that. Stability, year round how they get that. So if you Google that, FCI allowed coating of rice. When they distribute rice, they are coating of folic acid, iron and B12. Three coating is done by FCI. They blend coatings on that. How they do that? They blend through those coated products of rice. So already one company from Delhi, they work with US company, work on that. Stability, how we supply that food. Extending 9 months, दिवाली तक देंगे, अगले 6 साल तक देंगे, सरकार अनाउंस करती है. It means एक्सेसिबिलिटी इंप्रूव कराती है स्टेबिलिटी के थ्रू. सो फूड सिक्योरिटी जब भी बात करते हैं तो 3 मेजर्स हमेशा ध्यान रखनी चाहिए. फूड अवेलेबल कितना है, फूड एक्सेसिबल कितना है, एंड देन फूड स्टेबल कितना है, स्टेबिलिटी है कि नहीं, राइट? विच इज द 4th वन? थिंक ऑफ दैट रैंडम. ग्रेट. फूड यूटिलाइजेशन. गरीब कल्याण योजना के थ्रू मैंने दे दिया, मैं देश का PM हूँ, मैंने सप्लाई कर दिया. क्या उनको मिला जिनको मिलना चाहिए था? एक्सेसिबिलिटी कंपोनेंट है उसका, बट कैन दे यूटिलाइज्ड और नॉट? कि घर में रख दिया, गेस्ट आएंगे तब खिलाएंगे खाना. आई हैव विटनेस्ड इन सेम फैमिली, मेल किड ऑफ 5 years इज ओबीस, फीमेल किड ऑफ सेम ईयर इज अंडरनरिश्ड. व्हाई? यूटिलाइजेशन. बेटा है, इसको खिलाओ, बेटी को मत खिलाओ. So that component is major part of food security, and as agriculture expert we need to understand when we talk about food security and sustainability. Writing paper, sustainable development goal is a good thing, but at the ground the utilization and stability is very important rather than production of food and supplying through PDS, right? So that is a key problem when we come out of research, job and papers. And then the D component, R&D, then we think of that, what is the major factor of food security. And it comes when you visit multiple stakeholders, multiple countries, multiple kind of people, multiple problems. Then we realize that real food security is different than writing paper that 2050 global population will increase, food demand increase, we need to produce more. That's good to write paper. But at the ground scale, we need to understand these 4 pillars of food security. Then only research is feasible or meaningful. Good point. Anything else? Then we'll start on admission process. Otherwise, we'll keep continuing talking. Bully. Great points. Do we need bioinformatics before we use the models? Bioinformatics is one component where we get all those genotype coefficients which I was talking about, the expression of gene or variety for environment, G/E. Now, the bioinformatics. Let's say I have a 500 heat tolerant lines and their expression I have. I have a lot of data, right? The expression of all lines, and then I will screen those lines which are good for my purpose, whatever I'm trying to do. So then what I will do? I will do some kind of data analysis. That is also bioinformatics, right? The core bioinformatics research what we do in the labs. For crop modeling, we don't need those. For crop modeling, bioinformatics means filtering data, analyzing data for gene expression into meaningful action of environment representation. So that is bioinformatics in the crop model. But what you're talking about, this is a bioinformatics department where we do a lot of genome analysis as well as other genetic studies. That is not needed for crop models. But for gene modeling, which I told in the beginning, gene modeler work with bioinformatics to validate their results in the gene modeling. But in the process-based crop model, no. Good point. Any other? Okay. We'll start now fun. Okay. Now we will talk on the process of admission. Before I go to process of admission, let me ask you why US? Why not other countries? Yeah, you can just say Germany is much better than US. Australia is much better than US. Why only US? And I cannot say I am from US, so I can just vouch for US. I will prove it because I believe in data and science. So that's why we will talk today more about US for your benefit, why we should go to US rather than other countries. I will speak one by one. So the first is quality. So what do you mean by quality here? Quality of research? Good. Quality of education, quality of infrastructure, whatever, right? In terms of quality wise, everybody knows US is much better than other continent or other countries. Any doubt on that? Okay. Next is choice. What do you mean by choice? Let me give an example. You are MSc in soil science or BSc AG 4-year. BSc AG 4-year went to US for MSc in soil science. After finishing 1.5 years, maja nahi aa raha soil science mein, right? There is a flexibility to jump into genetics and plant breeding PhD. There is choice. You can change. For an example, in our department, one entomologist, he has PhD in music. Why? He is doing research on honey bee pattern. And he has PhD in music. He's a faculty of entomology. Music, BA, MA, PhD, everything in music. That is choice. Third one, diversity. Most of us are from Maharashtra. When you go to Mumbai, many from Delhi, many from Tamil Nadu, many from other part. When you move to Delhi or maybe Japan, you will see Singapore, you will see other continent people. When you come to US, you see people from all continent, all country, race, religion, ethnicity. you work with a team which are diverse. For example, in my lab, 2 master's students from India, 1 from Kenya, PhD, 1 postdoc from Ghana. 1 lady, 1 male, and then 2 LGBT community. So you see the diversity, right? When you work with a diverse team, you need to understand how diverse is the background of people and how they work. And that is the beauty of team. Value. What do you mean by value here? Not getting degree, getting practical understanding and getting job-oriented work. That is the value of education. Not value education like value education when you say in our context. Their value education means getting job-oriented, problem-oriented work. And the last is flexibility. If you are in a master's program, you got something which clicked to your mind to start your own startup, finished 1 year of master's. After 6 years, come finish 2nd year of master's. PhD 2nd year, quit PhD, come after 10 years and finish remaining PhD 3 years. So flexibility we have. None of the country in the world has flexibility like in US. Now, this is a map of US where we have 50 states, more than 4,800 institutes which has agriculture. Unlike in India, we have agriculture universities, but in US we have normal universities having agriculture college. But colleges which has agriculture is called land grant university. Land grant means government donated land to start or do research in agriculture. So out of 4,800, only 100 good land grant universities we have in US. Why I'm saying multiple time land grant? Because land grant has funding. Like in India, we have ICR, DST funding. For agriculture research, we have USDA, NIFA, NASA, other agencies have funding to do research. Okay? All across the country, we have wide range of types. What we'll do? We need to identify which colleges has more funding or good researcher in our area. Okay? Now, in the classroom, we have mostly interaction based on the projects, discussions. We give projects or classroom discussion. Focus on writing, critical thinking. How many of you know about the plagiarism? Plagiarism, okay, most of them. Is it good to copy from our content? Let's say if I published a paper in field crop research, okay? On the similar topic, I'm writing a paper. Can I copy from my paper, can I copy a couple of lines? Yes? With citation? No. You cannot copy yourself even with citation. You just copy idea or abstract and then write on your, in your own language. Even from your own paper, what we do mistake? When we write grant for research funding, oh, who will check in grant? Let's copy from my paper, my idea. Even in grant writing also, you cannot do that. You should not do that. This is called as a scientific crime. Ethics, research ethics. Right, so come to the academic assignment. Why we give academic assignments? During assignments, we teach them to have critical thinking without copying paste, no submission of assignment in that way. Team projects, and these are the benefit of having in US. Now we'll talk on how we do that. These are different factors I already spoke about. Field of study, the cost, we need to think about different long-term plans, how we can go on different schools. Okay, I will talk step by step now, how we'll do that. This is called application race for the fall intake. Let me clarify, in US, we have two time of admission. One is fall, that is August, September time. One is spring, that is January time. So 2 times semester starts or class starts. January is spring, fall is August. Fall is a natural process because summer vacation May 15 to August 15. So August 15 semester start, year cycle. So that is called fall admission. Similar flowchart for spring, but I will give an example for fall. How there is a race of application when you apply. And this is for, let's say, fall. This is for fall 2025. What I will show you, now you will have February now, right? 2024. So how you will prepare yourself so that you can prepare for fall 2025. But at the end I will talk how you can minimize the time frame. Because you know people like me, Dr. Pitla, so you can minimize. So coming February to May, you have to decide whether I'm going for PhD or I'm going for Masters. Decision means your research base, your priority from the family, your own career plan, then you decide by February or May. Then you will do, same time, shortlisting of universities. Which is the best university for me, which is a good research area which I can go. If you already decided research area, choose faculties in different universities. How you will choose faculty? There is a university website, the college, department, people. Click people and then you find the research background or portfolio of that people. Okay? So that is another step. So by June you will have shortlisting. I will recommend if you're planning to go to US, you should have Excel sheet prepared which have shortlisting of universities. How we do that? First column, name of university, name of faculty, their email ID, if a phone number, then phone number. And research area also, last column, which research area. So that listing will require at least effort of 1 to 2 months minimum. Once you are done with that, then you will do for planning. Here you see GRE and TOEFL both. What today I will talk about only TOEFL because after COVID, most of the universities have waived off GRE. So we need only TOEFL. I will talk about TOEFL separately. TOEFL is exam, acronym is Test of English as a Foreign Language, TOEFL, right? It's a 120 marks exam, 4 section reading, listening, speaking, writing, 30, 30, 30. So you need to have at least 80 out of 120. GRE is waived off, but couple of universities still needs GRE. So I will not talk about GRE because most of the land grant universities waived off GRE in last 2 years. So June to October you will prepare, you will plan. By October you have GRE TOEFL. Then what you will do? You will work on your application process. Application process means there is a step by step for application process. First step is write an email to the professor that I am interested in your lab. This is my CV. I will talk about CV and resume difference. This is my CV, this is my TOEFL score if you have TOEFL. If you don't have TOEFL, you can initiate email contact. Once professor will reply, 2 type of reply you will get. One is, okay, Mr. Mrs. ABC, your academic credential sounds great. I do not have funding to support you. Very generic email. Second kind of email, academic credential sounds great. Please have a Zoom or Skype session. We can talk more on your research interest. It means they are positive in your profile. So once you have Zoom discussion and Skype meeting and then finalize that, okay, you are a good candidate, faculty will say you apply. That is complete and send application. Then how to apply? Every university has graduate admission portal. Masters and PhD are called graduate. Unlike in India, we call BSc graduate. BSc is called undergraduate. Undergraduate and Masters and PhD both are called graduate. So for graduate application, you will go to university website through using your Gmail. Everyone has Gmail, I assume. Using Gmail, apply as a portal, open your account. Once you open your account, there is a different tab to upload documents. One tab is upload your CV. Second tab is upload your mark sheet. They call transcript. In India, we call mark sheet. Upload your transcript, final semester of your transcript. Transcript of final semester. Third is upload your TOEFL score. And then fourth is upload your SOP, statement of purpose, 1 page maximum, sometime 1.5 page. What is SOP? Statement of purpose. Any idea? What are you going to do in layman language? Say what you can what you will do, right? The statement of purpose is your selling point. Selling point means how you sell yourself. Product specification, when we buy, there is always product in boxes, right? Detail about you. I am ABC, I am from farming family, why I chose agriculture, why I came into agriculture research, what I did in BSc, MSc and PhD, this is my research area, why I am interested in your lab. Justify that. And then based on your publication or training, justify that why you will be an asset for your team, for person's team. One page, selling point. Upload that SOP. Once you upload every document, then there is step is called LOR, letter of recommendation. So as a candidate, you need to write name and email ID of the person. You don't need to upload letter of recommendation. So for that case, let's say if you applied in Oxford University, and you know me now, I came from Mississippi States, you can write me an email, hey Dr. Jha, I know you, I'm applying for Oxford, can you write a recommendation letter for me? Yes, obviously I can write because I met you already. Similarly, if you know 3 faculty, write name and email ID, automatically they will receive a link from that university. And then they will fill up everything and upload later, and then your work is done. So that is called complete and send application. Now, when your work is done, our work starts to filter application. So for March to May, next year now, so the entire 1 year you spend in preparation and application submission. Next year, during admission decision, what we do, let's say university will open in January now. So January, post-January and February, we meet to filter application. Filter on CV, filter on score, filter on SOP. That is called committee meeting. And there is a committee, admission committee in each department. So let's say you have submitted everything. In SOP, you have mentioned that I want to work in Dr. Jha's lab because my background is this. Then committee will ask me, I got one application from Parbani, candidate is interested in your lab. Are you planning to hire him or her, or are you planning to fund them? So that decision is March to May. Sometime by the end of March they finalize. Then it comes to professor, entire package. As you have already contacted me before applying, I know ABC from Parbani has everything, they applied it and then it comes to me. I will write immediately to the committee that I have funding from this account number, from these agencies. I will use this amount to give him her salary, tuition, health insurance, everything. That is called approval. The moment I email them, they will send you a letter, congratulations for your admission in this university, this is your offer letter with a salary of this much amount, this much flight ticket, this much blah, 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 everything, whatever I will promise. That is March to May. So mid-April is the last deadline usually. They confirm for August admission. It means they will send you a document called I-20. I-20 is used for visa appointment in Delhi or Mumbai, wherever you go to US. For US, student visa is called F1 visa. So once you get offer letter and I-20 from university, then you apply it to visa. So that visa process goes in May, June. Prepare and apply for a student visa. By May, June, July, you will get visa interview based on visa dates. Then you will prepare for pre-departure orientation. ठंडा देश है, जैकेट खरीदें, स्वेटर खरीदें, क्या पैसा लेके जाएं, सीनियर से पूछेंगे कि कितना पैसा लेके जाएं, कुकर लेके जाएं कि नहीं, बहुत सारी बातें होती हैं. तो every university has their Indian Student Association. So once you get your visa, you immediately contact Indian Student Association of that university. You will get connect through Facebook. Nowadays, Facebook has their pages. Then they will let you know, in our city, we don't have Indian grocery, spices leke aana, cooker leke aana, jo nominal thing hai. That is called pre-departure orientation. That is on July, August. And then you fly on, right? This is the timeline. Now, I'm here, Dr. Pitla is here, and you know multiple faculties from US and other countries. So the time frame can be minimized because you know now, Feb to June, you know this takes 2 to 3 months, decision making and shortlisting. If you're really interested, you can minimize that time into 1 month, maybe half month. 7 to 10 days. And then the TOEFL preparation, June to October. I told you already, there is a video, I did not tell you, undergrad session in the morning, I went there. There is a video on YouTube channel called Notefull, Notefull. Notefull is a channel, they give free of cost TOEFL preparation. So the 2 months, I think 2 months is good enough for Indian students because we have English medium understanding at least. Difficult for Chinese students, right? So 2 to 3 months is good enough for preparing for TOEFL. Now, if you know now Notefull videos and the other tools, ETS website, now you can minimize that into 2 months. Application October to January, because December 31st is usually deadline for fall. So the application process also you can minimize to 1 month. So if you minimize everything, then the best time to apply by December 31st, that is application, is to start from June. You can also start from June or July, prepare everything, and then get an exam by October, November, and apply everything by December. Ideal time, minimum time is 3 months. 3 months you need for TOEFL preparation or packaging, prepare for package, application package. Now, the cost. You should not think about that because whatever I talked is not NOT capital and not for you. This is not for you. Whatever I talked is for you, that is funding. You will get funding, then only you will apply. So no need to take photo of this slide because this is not valid for you. This is valid for those candidates who are going for engineering or other courses. They don't get funding. पापा के पास बहुत पैसा है तो जाते हैं. एग्रीकल्चर बैकग्राउंड में 99% बच्चे नॉर्मल फैमिली से आते हैं. सो डू आई. तो करना क्या है? फंडिंग टारगेट करनी है. फंडिंग मीन्स द फैकल्टी हु विल गिव यू फंडिंग सपोर्ट, उन्हीं के पास जाना है. कोई पैसा अपना खर्च नहीं करना है. ठीक है? Let me reiterate. For any US process, what you need? Some few thousands for passport, maybe 2,000 or 5,000. That is expenses. Few thousands for TOEFL exam. You have to write exam. That is 16,000 fee of TOEFL. That's it. If you buy clothes, maximum 50,000 for your US trip. 50,000 Indian rupees. If flight is expensive, more than 15,000, let's say maximum 1 lakh. But when you go there, as a master student, you will get 2 lakh per month salary in a master scale. In a PhD, close to 3 lakhs. So you can imagine for your entire career of PhD, you collected 1 lakh to travel. In 1 month, you can return back to anyone. But what you need to do, you need to know the process, you need to know the steps. Keep yourself aware that this is the opportunity we can avail of, right? This is for those who do not have funding. Okay? Any question on funding? Now, why US? In science, we believe on data and fact. That's why I validate through different category how US is important than other. So if you see, the circle is full, that is excellent, and then pi, 1 pi is poor, 2 pi is average, 3 pi is very good. Academics. There are a lot of rating agencies, companies, they advertise about academic progress of universities in different countries. That way, Europe is much closer to US, but US is the best among all continents in terms of academic. In terms of career prospect, US and Canada is similar, means you will get good jobs after degree. Visa regulation, US is difficult to get into. Once you get into US through visa, F1 student, you are good. Means you will get H1B, you will get green card, permanent residence. But if you go for work-wise H1B, it's very difficult to get permanent residence. That I will talk separately. But for education purpose, visa is difficult to get because you need to have good score, good profile. Once you get visa, you can have more on that. Cost-wise not good because expensive, USA expensive. But in terms of Next title, you will get more scholarship also. That's why it's cost-wise non-significant. So you will get more scholarship than other country. That's why you see comparison of different continent, different country-wise, why US is best. Now, Europe is somewhat best, but once you finish degree in Europe, they will say you bye-bye. Why they keep in US? Because they appreciate talent. They will keep you because they want people, good people to stay. They kick out bad people if you overrule traffic or speeding ticket. They will deport you sometime if you have multiple tickets. Drunk and drive, they will deport you. They don't want bad people, they want good people. So that's why US, having degree in US is good for Indian students. 3 benefit. We Indian students are good at English than other continents, except Europe. We Indian students are a hard worker. Number 3, we Indian students have a strong theoretical background. It's true. When we talk to American colleagues, our department colleagues, they prefer to hire Indian students. Then I ask, why you are looking for Indian students? No, I will not hire Chinese students. They can't speak English. Then what else? No, they are hardworking, but their theory is not good. Indian students are theoretically smart. We know theory because water management, agronomy, everything we read or mug up and get a good score. So we know theory, but no practical knowledge. True. No practical knowledge because our pedagogy or curriculum style is meant like that. We focus more on theory and grade making, marks. But when you come to US, when any Indian students, they come to US, they do extraordinarily well, outstanding. Why? Because they have strong mathematical understanding and theoretical understanding and good at English. Doesn't matter accent. Accent वहाँ कोई मतलब नहीं है. अगर if you are Indian and you make American accent, they will laugh at you because you are making or trying to be like them. So completely carry your Indian accent, but you should able to speak English. That is good enough for them because they appreciate science, not English. Okay? Good. So this is all about US. Now, scholarship opportunity. पैसा. सबसे ज़रूरत यही है पैसा की. सबसे ऊपर है graduate assistantship. When you apply for any position of masters and PhD, we faculty provide you salary which is called GRA or GTA, Graduate Research Assistantship or Graduate Teaching Assistantship. Now, how we will provide that? University doesn't provide any JRF or UGC, DBT kind of JRF there. Faculties have projects. Project from NSF, from NASA, from USDA. For that project, we provide you as a RA. In India, RA is RF. Masters and PhD are called RA in US. So you will get salary. For how much? For 20 hours a week. 5 days in a week, 4 hours in a day. Apart from your education, classes, and anything, you need to work as a researcher in lab every day 4 hours. For 4 hours, we pay 4 hours daily. We pay monthly 2 lakh for master student, 3.5 lakh for PhD students. 4 hours daily. But that 4 hours extremely significant because every Friday we get report from students. Back to back 3 Fridays, if you then don't work, we fire students. It's true. I'm not kidding. Okay, so this is one. The next is scholarship opportunities. For masters and PhD in agriculture sciences, I do not recommend you to apply for a scholarship from India. Apply for funding from faculties through TOEFL score. And there are a lot of other scholarships as well. Do you want to know about more scholarships? You should Google. I will share slides as well. Now, this is not for you because you are not going through your own money. The rich dad and rich kids, they will look for loans because they want to send their kids to US. This is not for you, but there are agencies and companies and banks. They provide loan based on I-20 what you receive. So I-20 has details of scholarships, or they explain explicitly that we will not provide funding, go for loan. So using that I-20, they apply for loan. It's not for you in agriculture sciences. I already talked about application processes. These are requirements. You need to submit these requirements and then only you will be able to get your application approved from the department. Okay? Now come to the TOEFL. TOEFL is accepted by most of the universities in US, sometime in UK also. Parallel exam is called IELTS. Same thing, but their scoring is band pattern, 6.5, 7, 7.5 band pattern, but TOEFL score is on score pattern out of 120. So I will recommend TOEFL because most of the US universities work for TOEFL. ETS is Organization Educational Testing Services, and that organization run GRE and TOEFL through online. That is called IBT, internet-based TOEFL exam. 4 section, listening, speaking, reading and writing, all sections worth 30 points, total out score 120. Good score means funding. If you want to get funding, you need to have 90 plus, and it's easy to get 90 plus within 1 month of preparation for Indian students. I can say that. Now, good score is 90 plus, but if you want to get admission, minimum score is 80. 80, without 80 you cannot get admission, but for funding you need to get 90. It's all scores valid for 2 years. This is www.toefl.org run by ETS. The only thing which you can think of, the fee of TOEFL is $200. That is close to 16,000. So if you cannot qualify in one attempt, you need to pay multiple times 16,000. So get prepared for 2 to 3 months, then write that. I know 95% Indian students, they qualify in one attempt. 95%. Because it's easy. When you start preparing, this is normal thing. But there is a misconception that, oh, every time I have to give 16,000. Why you have to give every time? Just prepare and then crack in one time. No coaching required. So I told YouTube has, and ETS also has materials. You can work on that. Freely available 2 books, Barron's and Princeton or Cliff, anyone you can download. Okay, so these are basic things for TOEFL. You can take photo of this because if you are planning to prepare for TOEFL, this will help you. And there is a video YouTube channel. I told you, Notefull, N-O-T-E-F-U-L-L, Notefull. Notefull videos. There is a channel. Subscribe it if you want to prepare for. If you are a smartphone users, everyone is. If you are a smartphone user, there are a lot of apps on TOEFL vocabulary. Go to iOS or Android, download those apps, TOEFL vocabulary apps. How important are these scores? When you apply for large university, let's say Stanford, right? Harvard, MIT, so large universities, they look for score, they look for grade point average and the personal. Personal means how you build your profile. But for small university, scores and grade point 25, 50% is personal. Means most of the land grant university comes in small universities. So that's what I want to highlight here. You need to work on yourself rather than grade and scores. TOEFL and BSc AG, Masters AG grade 25%, that's good. Personal means skill sets. 3 important skill sets to survive in US. Everyone, those who want to do higher degree, especially PhD and Masters. One is some kind of data analysis, programming like R or Python. Any field, bioinformatics, agronomy, soil science, because in PhD level, you need to know a lot of data analysis. So using R for statistical analysis or Python, you need to know. This is a good time if you are planning for PhD or other degree, please focus on one data analysis skill set. Another one, statistical analysis must. Without any data analysis, you should know field experiment design, statistical analysis based on design, what is RCBD, what is split plot design, basic statistics you should know. Third thing you need to know, networking, which is limited in Indian students. We are very shy. If you are going for research, we focus in lab, we do research. That will help you, but you need to develop networking. For networking, communication skills should be there. Networking means meeting scientists, meeting faculties in conference or somewhere else, share the card, visiting card, get them in your email profile. So networking is very important for any long-term research profile, right? So 3 things. I already spoke about that. You can ignore essays because essay is for GRE. SOP means statement of purpose, we talked about that. LOR means letter of recommendation. So focus on last 2 lines. LOR, choose the right recommender, means put the name of the people who know you or they know at least US style or schools where they can write recommendation letter. If you mention the name of the faculty who doesn't know where US is on the world map, it is very difficult to get good recommendation letter for those faculties. So try to choose right recommender. Basically, when you talk to faculties, can you write recommendation for me? Usually they will give 2 response. Okay, I will write, or hey, can you send me draft? I will edit and sign. It's normal process. So when you send draft, please send 3 different drafts to 3 different faculties. I have seen multiple applications where similar, exactly same verbose, everything came to me with 3 different names, different sign from same university. I don't want to name the university, but it's normal process. So ensure it's genuine. Then when you work on resume, okay, let me come back on CV and resume. CV is detailed. If you are BSc and AG or MSc AG, if you don't have much publications, what you will do, you will talk about internships. You will talk about your RAWE experiential learning detail. So CV is detailed. It can be 3 page to 30 page, but resume is maximum 1 to 2 page. Resume is a mirror of your career path. Good for companies who hire you. Overall summary of your career. So 1 to 2 page maximum resume, CV is multiple pages. So focus on what you are writing on resume. That I already talked about. Oh, yes. Resume versus CV. Key message in resume, CV in detail. So what is the basic difference between these two? Difference between these two is 3 content, purpose, content and length. I already spoke about that. What is the purpose, what is the content, what is the length? So when you prepare CV or resume, you need to focus on what you are preparing for. If you are preparing for job, let's say Masters MSc AG, applying for FCI job, Food Corporation of India, and you are going for interview, right? Then your resume will be different than applying for any professor or PhD position. So focus on target, content and purpose. I'll share the slides, so no worries. When you write resume, follow WHO pattern. What, how and outcome. What are you writing? How did you do it? Outcome. For example, you did training on running PCR in the lab. Genomics or bioinformatics people can write that. So what did you do exactly specifically? I ran samples on PCR for certain projects as an assistant. How did you do it? Write that, and then outcome. Because at this level, you don't have publications to just reflect, because publication is a reflection of your scientific contribution. If you do not have publication, write clearly who in your resume. For example, you were team leader. Specifically, it mentioned that I was team leader. Of how many people, what was the outcome, and how do you do it? Sample of CV. When you prepare CV, your education should be on the top. Means latest, PhD, then MSc, then BSc. If you are BSc only, don't write 10+2, only BSc. Then comes to your professional experience, current to past. Top should be current and then past, and then other professional membership and the publication. So this is just a sample. I'll share a sample with you. Now, I will talk a couple of slides on opportunities for Indo-US partnership where you can apply for different fellowships and scholarship. Please, please, please go to the website and regularly check that website. It's called IUSTTF, Indo-US Science Technology Forum. Why I'm showing that? Because I'm a liaison officer of IUSTTF. Every 8 to 10 weeks, we update fellowship opportunities and the job opportunity as well. If you go to the website, you will see these kind of fellowship, these kind of opportunities, and you can excel. So those who are in US, they should also avail these opportunities. That is Return to India Mentorship Program, REACT program. This is for Indian faculties, those who are in US. Become a mentor in the US. So we faculty become a mentor in the US for upcoming students. कुकर लाना है कि नहीं लाना है वो भी बताते हैं हम लोग. Okay, so these kind of steps. Now next is those who are in US. If they want to come back to Parbhani for 3 months or 6 months, currently they allow for 3 months. It's called Vaibhav, Vaishvik Bharatiya Vaigyanik Fellowship. Many scientists are visiting multiple agriculture universities from this year. Okay, so you need to get a connect with those faculties because they are volunteer and they are passionate about India. So they usually hire Indian students. That is the purpose I am showing you. So get in connect with Vaishvik Bharatiya Vaigyanik Fellows because they hire only Indian students. These are for Indian faculties who are in US. They come 3 months here. They get business class ticket from government and then they spend here talking like that, collaboration, partnership. Because I am a liaison officer of IUSTTF, that's why I came here. But those who are in Vaibhav Fellowship, they come here in India, different universities. Try to be in touch with them to get to know about those fellowships. I am a member of Vaibhav Fellowship as well. Okay. You know this person in the center? अब ये स्क्रीन को ऊपर कर देंगे क्या मेरे स्क्रीन को? The person who is in center is called, I forget his name. He's a DST international head. He's very active on LinkedIn and email. Please write an email that I am agriculture students, I am going to US, I don't have funding. He will give you some kind of funding. Okay? In next slide I will show you his name and email ID. I forgot his name. There's a Prabhas forum. Prabhas means Pravasi Bharatiya, now that side. Pravasi Bharatiya Scientific Forum. So you can see any faculties and you can download their profile and contact that. Now currently with Government of India, Ministry of External Affairs, what we are doing, we are making a dashboard where all Indian faculty is working in which area is already listed there. Dr. Pitla is not here. Dr. Pitla and I am working on developing a matrimonial kind of website for students, matchmaking for student and faculty. It's called Grad Connect. It is not in domain. We will launch in February or March, where grad students will put their gaon, income, and then good marriage profile. Same for CV, education, everything, and then you will connect with good faculty who are looking for you. It's called Grad Connect, kind of matrimonial. So in that page, there's engagements. In that engagement, you can directly connect with faculties. There are other fellowships program, which is called Vajra, Gyan, and Ramalingam fellowships. Those fellows come from US to India to talk to students, to hire students, to have a collaboration. So these are 4 programs where you can reach out to faculties, those who come to India to hire students, to contact to faculties for writing grants. So these are 4 or 5 domains. Website is there, prabhas.gov.in. Okay, how many of you know about INSA, Indian National Science Academy? Those in master's PhD should definitely look for this website. See, there are a lot of fellowships. This is all about awareness. We should get awareness to know about that, not only using geodata for reels. Reels are fine. But if you watch reels for fellowship, your reel will show multiple fellowships because the algorithm of reels and YouTube is like that. So try to surf the website where you can get some benefit. right? So this is one part. The person here, इस screen को थोड़ा ऊपर कर दीजिए. The person here, INSA Vice President, he is in charge of Dr. Mehra. He is in charge of. He is very proactive. Please write an email that I'm going to US. I don't have any faculty fellowship. INSA will provide you some kind of travel fellowship, small award. So please try to avail those. They regularly update and they regularly remove also some. That is a list of fellowships. If you are not going to US, for them also these are valid. So if you're going to IIT Delhi for a conference, you don't have travel amount, apply for travel fellowship. So hope your screen is open now. Yes or no? Yes. So save that list. I already told about this website, IUSTTF, Indo-US Science Technology Forum. Same for France, same for Germany, because I am licensed for US, that's why I mentioned about US, but same for France and Germany, okay? And these are different fellowships for women, for science, where you can avail those opportunities. Few months back, you had DST workshop here, right? You had DST workshop. Before that, how many of you have applied for DST? Now you applied for DST, three of them received, I know that. Out of 10 applications, 3 won the award. Why? Because you got awareness of DST, connection through DST. That's why I'm multiple times talking about connection and networking. It's not networking means I know Daksab, I know friend, not like that. Professional connection. Through fellowship, through agencies, try to connect with people. And that's why there are a lot of websites where you can build your career based on those travel amount or scholarships or fellowships. Okay? Let's move. How many of you know DST has international, Mr. S.K. Varsne? His photo is there or not? I don't know. Yeah, his photo is there. So go to the website of DST International Cooperation Cell. Mr. S.K. Varsne is very active on LinkedIn. He replies quickly. Any students can write email and reach out to him in LinkedIn. He has a lot of opportunity. Just write a SOP or one-page cover letter that I got opportunity to study in US. I do not have funding support from US faculty. Can I get something from DST? If your research area matches with DST profile, like genetics or biotechnology, DBT, SERB, then he will definitely let you know or connect you through person who can help you. Okay. ICR. ICR has itself management system to visit foreign. There's a dashboard. Those who went to US, they already applied or any other continent. So upload everything, and then the person, Dr. Vikas Mandal, I think he changed now. He's not there. So you need to know the sources. That's why I'm highlighting DST, ICR, INSA, where you can get those kind of fellowships. Now, these are the fellowships for ICR. Those who are in PhD program looking for postdocs. One is Netaji Subhas for PhD. You are in masters and you're looking for PhD in US. Government of India provides $3,000 per month, I think. $3,000 per month for PhD. That is called Netaji Subhas Chandra. It's competitive. You need to apply. There is a lot of competition. Usually they offer for in-service candidate, those who get job after masters and they want to look for PhD. But I know a couple of students who received as a regular student also. So that is one. Another one is a Barlog Fellowship, Climate, Fulbright Climate Kalam Fellowship, Kalam Climate Fellowship. There's a lot of fellowship in agriculture sector where you can apply for those fellowship to get into US for a postdoc, for even other exchange program. But for postdoc, I will recommend to go to faculties who has their own funding rather than getting funding from different agencies, because agency has their own compliances. You need to return back, you need to come in 6 months, okay? There's another organization, I would recommend you to go to website SIAHindia.org, Society of Young Agriculture and Hydrology Scholar. I started this society in 2012. Now we have 3,000 members across the continent. What we are doing agriculture and engineers, those who are in agriculture area or hydrology area. There you can work on that. There are more than 3,000 now members on different country. American Geophysical Union is an official partner of us. We are registered organizations in different continents. There you can engage. How you can engage? We advertise positions, PhD position, master position, postdoc positions in these areas: hydrology, climate change, crop modeling, and water and air quality. What we do, we have team of researchers, team of experts. They advertise. We provide training program for modeling, for remote sensing, for other basic hydrology and water and crop modeling. In these areas, we work on collaboration. So, and free of cost membership, no membership at all. So go on SIAHI website, get updates on positions and fellowships. Another one page I will recommend you to check, GIST, Global Indian Scientists and Technocrat Forum. It is in US, but helping poor students, BPL families to come to US. Means we put some money in a corpus fund so that we can choose students who are well off or not well off. If they're applying to just fellowship and well off, we don't provide. We provide to those who are needy people. Dr. Abdul Kalam started our organization in 2010. So GIST is another organization. We focus on these areas right now, but we will increase areas in different domain right now. Okay. Now, why, as a researcher, or as once you go to US as a student, how you will serve back? That is the role of NAHEP. NAHEP role is capacity building back, so not brain drain. So let's say if I'm choosing 2 students as a PhD in US, how they will return back to India for short term, medium term and long term. So once you return back in summer or winter vacation, talk to university like I'm doing. Invited talk is one way. All students should do that. And how you can do that? We are here to connect you through DDG Education, Dr. Agarwal and other people. Second, engage, talk to people how we can do changes in different policy, different research area, engagement. Another one is consultation. When you come back or you are in India, try to guide new ag tech startups. So that is the role of capacity building process. Once you are in a PhD holder, they will respect your thoughts and intellect. So you should guide your juniors or peer, those who are starting new startups. So consultation. Next step is mentoring. Mentor people from different universities, different domain. If you are in agriculture, you are good. But those who are in IITs, NITs, they don't know about agriculture. But they can do research in agriculture. My one PhD student is IIT Delhi. So you can imagine how they can come into agriculture area if they work on data and other. So you need to mentor non-agriculture students. That is one another area. Capacity building is a major domain. When you come, then you guide your students and then seniors. This is a photo from a NAHEP program, Simboga. I came last year when I talked there. And then MOU, signing MOU. So you see the DDG Agriculture Engineering, Dr. S.N. Jha. He is a president of ISAE, Indian Society of Agriculture Engineering. He signed MOU with American Society of Agriculture and Biological Engineering. So that is kind of MOU is one area where you can collaborate. Okay. At the end. So this is a map of Mississippi. This is my state where I work on. Mississippi looks like face. That's why I use all the time this image. Without collaboration, you are just another person with an opinion. I did PhD, I have Nobel idea, I will get Nobel Prize. I don't think so. None of the scientists can get Nobel Prize if he has good idea or innovative idea without collaboration. So collaboration is a key for any kind of success. We are expert in our area, doesn't mean you are expert of everything. So collaboration is a key, and what are the different fellowship opportunities I told you, those are interdepartmental collaboration. SERB provides fellowship for ICR students. They contact ICR first, if you have something or not. If not, then they collaborate. So thank you. If you have any question, we can discuss on that. This is my email ID, my phone number, my lab, which I already talked about. And regarding admission process, regarding, oh, I did not talk about postdocs. Okay. I talked about PhD and masters, but let me talk about in couple of lines about postdoc. Postdoc is not a degree. There's a big confusion among the students. Postdoc is a degree. Postdoc is a job. Okay? No need to look for 6 months or 1 month. There is no limit for time frame for postdocs. Postdoc is a job depending on how much funding professor has. So when you apply to professor for postdoc, you will apply for job for 6 months to 3 months to 6 year to 10 year, depending on how much funding I have. Postdoc is job. Okay? What do you need for postdoc? You need at least 3 publication of primary author. If you have a first author publication 3 in a good impact or good NAS rating, then you are a good candidate for postdoc. If you want to go to US in good lab, they want to see how best you can contribute scientifically. So for postdoc, minimum 3 publication primary author. It is good to have more than 3 impact factor. In NAS rating, I don't sure what is the NAS rating right now, but 3 impact factors should be there. NAS rating maybe plus 10 plus. 3, minimum 3. Co-author publication is ice on the cake, not cake. Co-author publication, if you have 20 and primary author 1, you are a poor candidate. So minimum 3 publication as a primary author, and co-author if you have 10, 5, 20, doesn't matter. That will add value. It's called ice on the cake. So this is second thing. Third thing, cover letter. Like a student who wrote SOP, statement of purpose, postdoc will write cover letter. Same 1 or 1.5 page or 2 page maximum. Cover letter will speak about your journey, why you came in agriculture, what did you do in PhD, then masters, then undergrad, and then summarize your everything, why you are an asset to the team. So that is called cover letter. Cover letter and CV attached through email. Write an email. Writing email is an art. Especially for postdoc, you are considered as a professional because you are in job sector. When you write an email, please focus on writing subject. I have received a lot of emails without subject. Because without subject, first of all, it goes to junk or spam. So please focus on a subject. Interested in postdoc opportunity, looking for postdoc opportunity, whatever you write. Prospective postdoc opportunities. Email, it is valid for PhD opportunity as well. But for postdoc, subject should be there. Do not write Mr. Santosh Pitla. Do not do that. Write Dr. Santosh Pitla or Professor Santosh Pitla. I have seen multiple emails. Hi, hello. Don't do that. Write dear or respected, whatever. Dear is good enough. Dear Dr. Pitla, comma, enter. Greetings or whatever, good morning, good evening, whatever. Greetings is good because you don't know when they will see your email. So don't write good morning, good evening. Write greetings because they will see in night time or daytime, you don't know. So greetings. Hope all well at your end, whatever. Introduce yourself. Do not forget to introduce. I am ABC, master's or PhD 4th year students or department, whatever. I'm defending my thesis in a couple of weeks or months. This is your introduction, what area you are working on. When it is done, next 2 lines will be why you are interested in my lab. I have seen your research paper, especially intrigued about your research and that inspired me doing these kind of research. And then conclude with, please find my CV and cover letter attached. Looking forward to your responses. This is generic standard email. Please do not do spelling mistake. How? Grammarly is a software. Please आज घर जाके सब लोग कीजिए. Grammarly download कर लीजिए. Grammarly is a software where freely spelling mistake they will catch. In email, in your Word file, okay? If you write paper in Word file, they will catch there also. If you want more updates from Grammarly, then you have to subscribe premium account. That is 500 rupees per month. So I will not recommend you to do that, but freely, non-premium, download that so that when you write email, it will pop up You missed spelling mistakes because the first impression is the last impression. When you write an email to faculty, spelling mistake means he or she is not serious. So please download Grammarly. So good email requirement for postdoc, minimum 3 papers, cover letter good, CV, send it. No score, no TOEFL is needed for postdoc. Okay, because postdoc is not a degree. TOEFL is only required for degree, masters and PhD. Okay. For postdocs, the most important part which is hidden, networking. Means you should know, you should meet someone in a conference, good faculty, try to build a rapport through LinkedIn. How many have LinkedIn? Good. Create a good profile in LinkedIn, connect with faculties. I know Dr. Aseva through LinkedIn. So he used to message through LinkedIn. So try to build a good profile on LinkedIn, try to connect with the faculties in your research area. That is called networking. So networking will help you in getting postdoc position because you know that faculty has advertised a postdoc in NSF project or NASA project or USDA project. And then, oh, I saw on LinkedIn you have posted, write an email also. Then he or she will think, oh, the candidate is serious. They are watching me. So that builds a good rapport. So I hope postdoc is clear. If you have any question on PhD, postdocs, please let me know. Next 15-20 minutes. Any question? It's okay if you are feeling shy, there's email ID. Please feel free to write an email. Whenever I get time, I will reply. I will send the PDF, but I will speak in 2 minutes. Sir has asked art of scientific writing, how to write good research paper. So I have a slide of 35 to 36 slides for 1 hour workshop. I can send you, but in next 2 minutes, I will talk about that. For any scientific writing, the structure is called IMRAD. Introduction I, M material methods, R results and discussion, IMRAD. Now, journal formats are depending on which journals you are applying, the format will little bit change. Some has results and discussion separate, some has combined. Art of writing means you need to write simple, crystal clear rather than having heavy or dead words. What are heavy or dead words? Really, very good. So don't need to write really. I have a list of 500 words which we don't need to use. That is called dead word or clunky words. Do not use clunky words. Use always track change when you write on Word file because when you send to your mentor or editor to revise, you see what are the changes. How many of you know track changes? Backside. Come on. In Word, you write in Word file, right? So when you edit it, do you follow track change or not? Okay. Please do that. आज घर जाके वही काम करना है आपको. पहले देखना है कि MS Word फाइल कहाँ है और ट्रैक चेंज उसमें कैसे होता है. Yeah, it will track who is revising what. You know Word file, right? So this is Word file. You are seeing Word file? Okay. There is a review option here. You click review. There is a track change here for everyone. When you share the document to your professor, to your peer, or to your editor, whosoever is editing, they will edit. Edit means they will do changes. Oh, okay, you did something. It will come to your laptop or your email, red and blue and yellow and whatever color. It means they are editing. This is called track change. So go home, practice that, and send email to your another email, and then return back to that email. You will see the track changes. So track changes, you can see what are the changes there. Another thing you need to know, email signature. How many of you know email signature? How many of you have another email apart from Gmail? Okay. You do have Gmail, right? This is a basic process taught in class 11, 12th to get an email signature. Okay? Open your Gmail. There is a setting button. Put your signature. I will give an example quickly. So this is my Gmail. Ignore my Gmail if you read anything. There is a setting button. Click setting button. Once you click setting button, there is a quick setting, right? See all settings and come down. You see there is, I just taught someone, it's not my name. That's why in Gwalior I was teaching. Just do that. Today go to home, tonight before your bed, create your signature. Ram Kumar, Mohan Kumar, whatever name, BSCAG third year, College of Agriculture, Indore. I was in Indore last week, so I taught them and that's saved. Change your signature or make your signature. Because whenever you email to any faculty or any job, even for industry job or civil services, any kind of job, you need to have signature in your email, right? So those who are applying for PhD postdocs, they must have email signature. Please go and do that. So what are three take-home messages for today's lecture? Download Grammarly, check track change, and do email signature. Rest other thing you can forget about that. Please take care of your signature. Please learn about track change. Please download Grammarly. It is for your professional development. Okay? Good. Any other question? Any other question? Yes, go ahead. Right, right, right. Yeah, good point. So he's asking about type of journal, quality of journal, ratings of journal, how we can do that. So it's a big question or comprehensive question, but a short answer is on the Google, if you just type NAS rating of journal, you will get a PDF, your list of NAS rating. Now, what is good, what is bad? Usually at international scale, impact factor is a rating which decides journal quality and the paper's quality based on citation, how many citation paper has achieved. Now, there are two categories of journal. One is free, subscription based, one is paid, right? Open access. Now, open access concept is different. Please do not mix that. Till last year, open access concept was different. Even Philcrop Research is a good journal. They also have open access and they also have a paid version. So don't go into that trap. Journal has two categories. One is subscription based. That is, we consider free, like Philcrop Research, Agriculture Systems, good journal. That is called good journal. And one is paid, that is predatory journal, MDPI's category, frontiers category. Many journals are predatory journals. And among them also some are good. Now, you need to identify what research area you are doing and what are good journals. For example, your agronomy, Philcrop Research is a respected journal, right? Based on the quality paper, based on the research they publish, based on the review process, 5 months, 6 months, rigorous review. As compared to predatory journal, if you submit, you have money, they will 10 days or 15 days, they will review and publish. That reflects the quality. So in the early career, you should not do that, go for predatory publication, pay money and get publics. It is not good for your career. So try to publish in subscription base, which is 6 months or 1 year. Now coming to the open access, from 2023, all journals who received US federal funding, publication, or people who receive US federal funding, they need to publish in open access. This is a requirement now. So let's say I have a funding from USDA, NSF, NASA. I cannot put on subscription based, I need to put on open access because this is a mandate of federal government now. So don't mix match open access and subscription based. Now in terms of rating, how many of you have Google Scholar account? Backside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you do not have, go to Google Scholar and create your account if you are in research. In Google Scholar, you type any word or vocabulary or title, you get your papers related that, right? And you check paper based on citations, relevance, timing wise. The quality is also judged by citations. So international journal have more cited papers. Citation is in free also, but quality work and depending on how much impact factor. So it's a kind of long-term deciding factor. In one day you cannot do that. Once you read papers and then get to know about the papers, you can classify. Good, good. Anyone else? Finally, 3 take-home messages. Track changes, word file, please learn that. Please download Grammarly. Please put an email signature. Irrespective of your job or research or area where you are in, these 3 will help making a good person at least, professional person. So please do that. With that, I will conclude. If you have any question, please feel free to email me and we can discuss as well. And with that, shall we conclude? Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash Jha, for being with us at this auspicious occasion. And I think it's a privilege and to say this is a grand opportunity for those. How many of you have visited foreign country? Please stand up. Please stand up. Yes, sir, recently we had 55 students, PG, PhD students from this campus. And many of them are just now today busy in somewhere exam or somewhere other things. But those who visited foreign country, can you tell your country name? Spain, Malaysia, Spain, Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, Hungary, Spain, Thailand. So I think somewhere some students also visited Brazil, and 2 students. I mean, they are in USA right now. Yeah. So the students who visited, for them, now see that how you can explore your kind of investment in NIHP project. We have left with sir only 4 days to finish up the funds. And before finishing up their funds, they have an opportunity to make their proposal for experimental work, because afterwards for your research there will not be a fund from NAHEP. Okay? So whatever consumable material, whatever the experimental work material, those ideas, those things, you can have a discussion with professors from USA right now. The another thing is that while doing your preparation, you should have a proper communication in the group. If see the opportunity from USA, what are the message will pass on by Dr. Prakash Jha, will pass on to our group. So every day they are sitting in the NAHEP center from 6 to 10 o'clock. Many of the students, they are doing their study in NAHEP campus nowadays. Till 12 o'clock, late night. So this is a good habit. and students have an exposure to make their kind of a research paper presentation wherein they looks at your background. If you are working on digital technology, high-tech equipments, basis research data that you have extracted, then that becomes a quality data for them, those who are having a high impact journals. So you need not to be in the traditional way statistical tool, only doing the traditional research work, that will not be accepted. So I'm really thankful to Dr. Prakash Jha for being with us. Really thankful to Dr. Santosh Pitla from Nebraska and from Mississippi. We will be continue to have a dialogue discussion. Dr. Prakash Jha will leave today. He had a family he is having a family function. So he'll be continue to come at our center in month of January also if possible. I'm requesting to come on in month of January also. We are very much, become harsh to meet again and again. At this age, what sir has, what he is doing at all, I'm just feeling amazing experience in Kansas State, Manhattan City. I have seen his kind of work with more than 60 countries. He's always busy with his higher authorities with different governing projects by USDA, by different countries, mutual projects. And with that kind, if someone gets an opportunity in future to work with him, it will be a life game changing, I should say. And Dr. Santosh Pitla, whatever the things at his destination, my student and faculty colleagues, they have explored such a huge technology. Technology means only Dr. Santosh Pitla. And those who are entering to the new field, I have seen many people, they are very much amazing to play with the, robots, play with drone, play with, many of them have visited the foreign countries, they played with the drone. But now this attraction will turn to change the game of, agriculture. So I will be really happy to host him today, and also tomorrow he will be with us. So we will have a Dr. Sharda accompanied with Dr. Santosh Pitla, sir. This will be again very good, gathering tomorrow. So I request Dr. Asevar, sir, to conclude the session.
Yes. So thank you very much, Dr. Prakash Kumar Jha, and he had given a very good lecture on this climate models, particularly on the climate models on different crops, as well as for the overseas admission, how to take the overseas admission, what are the steps are there. On that basis, he had given a very informative and a very inspiring lecture here in this auditorium, and he is a very knowledgeable person. He has traveled near about 90 countries in the world, and his mentor like Dr. Vara Prasad, he is also traveled near about 200 countries, and he is having very excellent experience in this all these parameters, as well as all these whatever the things are there for taking the admissions, what are the steps. He has shown many steps, and many steps are we are not knowing. We are very means starting now for taking, we are just thinking how to take the admission, how to go the for postdoc, how to go, and with this NAHEB, because if NAHEB was not there, means we are not able to think of this. Without NAHEB has only given the chance to go abroad for us. Otherwise, this chance will not be there. So with this very brief concluding remarks, I will stop here, and our Dean, Director of Instruction and Dean, Dr. Kotke sir, he is coming here, and we have to visit one spot in our central farm. So we will go there and we'll visit that spot. That is J farm. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Students, participants, be seated in the hall. Don't leave the hall. For tomorrow's session, it will start sharp at 9:30 a.m. And tomorrow again we have some excellent speakers as like today. Tomorrow, Dr. Saeed Ismail will be us. He will guide us on the current issues in agriculture and technological solutions. And another speaker, he will be Dr. Ajay Sharda. He will guide us on digital solutions in equipment enabling food security and sustainability. So tomorrow also, sharp at 9:30 a.m., we will have to gather here for listening the guest speakers. Today, Dr. Prakash Kumar Jha, he has guided us in very nice manner, in very detailed manner on the crop simulation modeling, soil crop weather modeling. Again, he has also guided on the other issue, that is overseas admission opportunities for the student in detail. In this topic, he has covered details on the TOEFL exam and its preparation, again the use of NoteFill for preparation of this exam, how to prepare your resume and CV, what is the difference between resume and CV, how to make a effective resume or CV, he has also shown in his slides. Again, sir has also focused on the postdoc research opportunities also. And along with this, he has focused on the different fellowships like this INSA fellowship, DARE ICR fellowship for the further research. I am hopeful that this lecture will be very useful for all the PG, postgraduate students as well as the researchers for planning their future research work and collaborative works with the institutes, other institutes. Thank you very much, sir, for the detailed guidance on these different topics to our students. Again, in the morning session, Dr. Santosh Kumar Pitla, sir, he has also given a very detailed and excellent lecture on the use of robotics in agriculture. And most of the things he has shown in his presentation, they are very useful for planning the future research of the agricultural students. So that's why this lecture will be also very useful for our students as well as faculty members for planning their future research programs. Thank you to both of the speakers. Within few minutes, our Director of Instruction and Dean will be here to give the certificates to our excellent speakers. Now I would like to request respected Dr. U.M. Khodke sir, Director of Instruction and Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, VNM KV Parbhani, to honor our speakers. First of all, Dr. Santosh Pitla sir, by giving the kit for this workshop.
Hello. Is there anyone who got a white folder here? It was there on the sofa set. There is a proposal in that folder. Actually, if anyone gets that the white folder, please see that there is a proposal of NAHEB. Some files, important files are there in that white folder. अगर किसी को white folder मिला है तो प्लीज रिटर्न कर दीजिए क्योंकि उसमें नाहेब का कुछ प्रपोजल फाइल्स है. ऑफिस आहे व्हाईट फोल्डर आपलं नाही त्याच्यात ऑफिसच्या फाईल इथं ठेवलं होतं मी
Now I request Director of Instruction and Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, Dr. U.M. Khodke sir, to offer the kit for workshop to both the speakers. First of all, Dr. Santosh Pitla sir. I request Dean sir to offer him the kit. Thank you, sir. Once again, I request Dr. Khodke sir to offer the kit for this workshop to our another speaker, Dr. Prakash Kumar Jha sir. Thank you, sir. Once again, thanks to both the speakers for delivering such excellent and useful lectures for our students and faculty members. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash and Dr. Santosh. I hope the interaction and the presentation which you have given here will help our students, and the collaborations will go and flourish in future also. So I think many of the students, I would request them to connect with these two speakers, the young and dynamic scientists and the workers who are working in US. Thank you very much. Once again, on behalf of Vasantrao Naik Marathwada Krishi Vidyapith and on behalf of all the faculty and students, I thank you from bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
I request Honorable Director of Instruction and Dean sir to please honor the today's guest of honor, Dr. Prakash Jha and Dr. Santosh Pitla sir. So, Dr. Santosh Pitla sir, please come here. I request Dr. Asevar also please come here. Thank you, sir. Tomorrow's sessions, all of you are together. You will also have to receive your kits. And tomorrow's speaker, Dr. Dr. Ajay Sharda from Kansas State University. He's a senior professor. He's also doing work, a very nice work in robotics, then sprayer drones and automatic guided vehicles, automation, precision agriculture. And Professor Ismail sir, who is also one of the eminent professor, former professor, and then he is also related to precision agriculture. Tomorrow there will be interactive sessions, feedback sessions, and all of you have to remain present till tomorrow's valedictory function. So there will be only certificates issued to those who are 100% present. So wish you all success for the tomorrow. We are gathering again in the morning session. Thank you one and all.